We're on the air. Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, or whatever it is. And welcome to Lunch with Len. And I sprung a pretty bad leak. I've been scratching mosquito bites. And hang on just a second. I'm going to grab a paper towel. I really I got liquid running down my leg. Red liquid running down my leg. So, hey, Craig, glad to see you there today, buddy. And Bill, welcome. I'm looking for Chris. She was here. She disappeared. I don't know where she went. I clicked her on over, and she went away. So, hey, before I thought we'd have an open discussion about GMO food today, just for giggles, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But before I do that, Bill, and I know you do Twitter quite a bit. So I was on Twitter yesterday using status Brew to follow people, and I suddenly got a message that my Twitter account had been closed or shut down or whatever. Anyhow, whatever the message was. And I had to go through hoops with them, but the message contained information that said that there was a possible violation of Twitter rules due to auto posting or due to automation. I don't know exactly. I don't remember exactly what it said. You ever seen anything like that? I haven't seen anything. I've never seen anything like it before, and I wasn't doing anything. The only thing that I can say that I've done differently is that I did upgrade my social jukebox yesterday or the day before, so now I have more posts going on because now I'm past my 5. There used to be a 5-post limit a day. Now there isn't anymore.
Yeah, I'm posting about at least 300 times a day on 2 accounts.
Okay, so I don't know what this was. This was really bizarre because I did get a follow-on message from Twitter apologizing and telling me it was a mistake, but I still couldn't get back into my account, and I had to do a reset, and I had to let them send me an SMS code, which is a real pain in the rear because I don't have a cell phone that receives SMS codes down here in Mexico. But let me go pull up the one email. Just a second. I'm not going to screen share. I'm just pulling up the email that they sent me. Twitter support. Twitter support. Here we go. Okay. So the email they sent says Twitter has automated systems that find and remove automated spam accounts. And it looks like your account got caught up in one of those spam groups by mistake. This sometimes happens when an account exhibits automated behavior in violation of the Twitter rules.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay. So I tried to look for Twitter rules on automation, and I really don't see any. I don't see much. There must be some. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, okay.
But using Status Brew, I've had to re-authenticate my Twitter accounts several times.
Yeah, I've had to do that too, but that's, re-authenticating. I've even had to do a password reset.
No, I have too, several times.
But in the case where they had me do a password reset, all I had to do was just go reset my password. I didn't have to go through sending them an SMS or having them send me an SMS message. And the reason that's, for me, as I mentioned, the reason that's a pain is because I don't actually have a cell phone. When I'm here in Mexico, I do not have a way to receive an SMS message. They can send them all day long, but they're not going to get to me. So anyhow, what happened, Chris? I tried to click you over and you just disappeared. So send me a message. Tell me what happened. Can I click you over? Should I try again, or what happened to you? I'm waiting for a message from Chris. Anyway, let me carry on. The reason, the thing that I put out there in the Facebook post about GMO foods, I just wanted to see what other people's opinions are and just sort of open a conversation. I don't want to lecture. I didn't want to lecture on it today or do PowerPoints or slideshows or anything. I watched a movie the other night that was obviously a fiction movie, but the fiction movie was based on a lot of fact. In the movie, a woman has a young son, who develops severe allergies, and she begins to try to figure out what's going on with the son. Of course, the doctors can't come up with anything. They try all kinds of stuff, nothing works. Meanwhile, the son is getting worse, and she begins to trace it back to the food supply and to GMO foods. And in the process of doing that, she uncovers a lot of stuff that is actually factual about GMO foods these days. And part of what she uncovers, of course, and what I think we all already know is, and I'm not getting a message from Chris either. She's there, but I wonder what's going on. Chris, can you hear me? Can you see me? Are you getting messages? What's going on, Chris? Craig, can you hear me? Just curious, because we did have a couple of occasions recently where there was no audio. That Bill, you're over here. I know you can hear me, but the question is, can the people?
Yeah, I can see the chat too.
Pardon me?
I can see the chat too. So
right.
You know.
But yes, okay. Craig says he can hear me. Okay. Okay. Well, Chris, what's going on? Oh, is he? Okay. So one of the things we do know is that in the movie there was a chemical company whose name was a fictitious name in the movie, but the reality is the chemical company is Monsanto, and Monsanto now owns something like 85% of the corn crop, and about 90% or something like that. Huge percentages of the corn crop, the soybean crop, and the sugar beet crop in the United States. And they have been buying up the seeds. They have been buying up small farms. They've been putting small farms that are organic farms out of business. There's a lot of stuff going on. Meanwhile, there's some pretty controversial studies, and when I say pretty controversial, there's one study that was published several years ago that showed a group of rats that had pretty serious tumors that grew after they were fed GMO corn. And that study was subsequently recalled as being less than perfect. It was flawed, and that study was in fact in the movie. And there was an executive from Monsanto, or from the chemical company in the movie, claiming that was a flawed study and it was disregarded. Well, that study was just republished here, really, in real life. And it is claimed that the reason it was originally withdrawn was because of lobbying pressure from the chemical industry. Anyhow, so there's a lot of controversy. Then on top of that, yesterday, I saw an article, which I'd heard before, but I paid more attention to it yesterday, that Quaker Oats is being sued in 2 different states now. They're trying to take it to a class action suit, and the suit is going to expand. There's more than 2 states going to be involved, apparently, because they found Roundup. They found the chemical from Roundup, glyphosate, in the oats, in instant oatmeal. And the argument Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, Craig. It's possible that it's on your end.
Yeah, you're good here.
Huh?
Good here.
Yeah, we're good here. Um, and and where I'm going with this is, and I'm going to shut up in a minute because I don't want to dominate this today. But I've read some rebuttals of all this stuff, and the rebuttals always go to the same place. They go to, well, it's only a trace amount. It's only a little bit. Well, it's far below the standards established by the EPA. And my question is, when did the EPA establish safe standards for how much poison we're allowed to have in our cereal?
1985.
And you know that for a fact, huh, Chris?
As soon as I opened NAFTA up and allowed all the stuff coming in from other places, and that's when NAFTA took effect, was in 1985. They had to lower the standards to allow the stuff to come in.
So there are three arguments that I've heard from people that are defending Monsanto. Argument number one is, well, it's only a small amount. It's, tiny. It's only a tiny little bit. Argument number two is, well, it's far below the standards set by the EPA. Argument number three is, well, it's not our fault that the seeds got contaminated. It blew in from another field somewhere. Because the Quaker Oats box says it's 100%. The basis of the lawsuit is an interesting basis. The Quaker Oats box says it's 100% natural, and glyphosate is not natural. Therefore, it's false advertising. And that's the basis of the lawsuit, because they can't get them on the fact that it's got the glyphosate in there, because the EPA allows trace amounts of glyphosate in your cereal.
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't either till yesterday. And it's like, to me, and the reason I launched this conversation today is just, this is just mind blowing to me. It's just absolutely mind staggering that our food supply is, I mean, we knew it was contaminated, but the farther I dig into it and the more I read about it, the worse it's getting. Then the more I'm finding out about it.
And Europe does not allow it.
Right. 60 countries in the world have either banned GMOs outright.
Now you did freeze.
Huh?
Now you're back.
Oops.
Yeah.
You froze for a minute.
My screen is going blank. It's going in and out. Yeah, interesting. 60 countries in the world either ban GMOs outright or at least at minimum require labeling. And so far, the chemical industry, and it is the chemical industry, that the chemical industry in the United States has been able to lobby effectively to keep from having to admit that they're GMO, to label them, or to do anything else with it.
And besides that, they've got the farmers by the short hair, they have to buy their seeds.
Right. No, I don't fully understand that argument. I'd like to research it a little bit more, but apparently that's true. And apparently, I was reading an article this morning that there was the Monsanto got into India, and it caused a wave of mass suicides amongst the Indian farmers, because they effectively put a lot of the Indian farmers out of business. They were organic farmers, and they effectively put them out of business. And that was in the movie last night, too. There was a farmer who was put out of business by the chemical company involved. And the way they got put out of business is the organic farm got contaminated with non-organic seed and or fertilizer. The fertilizer blows in from the farm down the road. So they're spraying the farm down the road. The fertilizer gets carried on the wind. It blows into the organic farm, gets on the organic farm's crops, and the organic farmer loses his certification because his crops have now been dusted with fertilizer.
Yeah. I've seen the movie, so.
Okay. It's a pretty powerful movie.
It is.
It's and the more I've been going online and I've been looking at researching some of the points in the movie, and they're all coming up valid. All the points the movie was making are being validated in me looking out into Google land and seeing, including the pictures of the rats, the same pictures, the exact rats, the same study, the same statements. And to me personally, it's not a question of whether or not. I guess there's two things. One is who's decided that it's okay to have a trace amount, any amount, more than zero, of poison in our food, and two is the arguments that it's only a trace amount or it's below EPA standards or any of these other arguments don't amount to a hill of beans with me. That's bullshit, because we don't know. The fact is there are no studies that really show, no long-term studies that really show that this stuff is safe.
Craig wants to know what the name of the movie is, and I forgot.
It's Consumed. Here, Consumed. And I found it on Netflix. There is also a website. There's a website called www. And I'm typing it in, consumedthemovie.com. If I was able to type that correctly, www.consumedthemovie.com.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. And actually, let me go out and actually go there, www.consumedthemovie.com. See if I got it right. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Is it charging you?
Is it what?
Is it charging money to see it? I know that it was going to.
Well, I have Netflix, so it didn't charge. I mean, I'm paying for Netflix. So I saw it on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's really, it's a good movie.
Zach went and got us a Fire Stick.
Uh-huh.
The Amazon Fire Stick.
Okay.
So I can watch anything that's ever been published anywhere.
Man. Okay. Well, somebody else is joined us. Who's joined us out there? Craig, Chris. Oh, Daryl. Daryl, I assume you can hear me. Do you want to come over and join the conversation? Anyway, like I said, I didn't want to monopolize this thing today, and it seems like I'm doing most of the talking. I mean, what do you guys think? What's your opinion?
Well, I've been outraged since I first started studying it. Just outraged. There's also a new study out. I put it in one of my organic groups, proving that the GMO seeds are not. They're not producing anything more, and the pesticides that they're putting on are not doing what they say they're going to do.
Well, that's right. That's a valid point. You can actually find, and I found those graphs this morning. I can go find them. I know where they are. That show that the production, the GMO plants have not effectively improved production, and in fact, in a couple of cases, the pesticide use has gone up rather than down.
Yes.
And by GMOing the plant to resist the pesticide, all they've managed to do is put more pesticides in your cereal bowl.
Yeah, I found it. It's grubstreet.com. New report suggests GMOs have zero effect on lowering pesticide use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Craig, I'll share it out onto my wall. If you want to look at the study, and Bill and Daryl.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. We'll share it into the Lunch with Len group.
All right.
but I think I'm going to generate a. In fact, yeah, Sheridan, I think I'm going to generate a blog post today about this stuff. At any rate, I mean, that's really all. I didn't really prepare anything today. I just wanted to open the conversation, and I was hoping we'd have a few more people here to jump in. And I didn't want to just sit here and lecture, but you know, it's becoming increasingly difficult to find food that's actually safe to eat.
Yes, absolutely. Which is why I try to grow what I can. It's not easy out here in the desert.
No, it's not easy on my deck here next to the Pacific Ocean either.
No.
I don't know. I don't know why. I've tried twice to grow rosemary, and it failed. And I've tried. I had a tomato plant last year that made a couple of tomatoes, but it really didn't do very well. Partially it's my fault because I'm not consistent enough. I tend to do things like go away and leave the plants on their own, and sometimes they don't do well that way. If you're going to be a farmer, you got to stay home and farm, I guess.
Yeah. Well, we're going to put raised beds in next year.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm getting a fence put up to block some of the wind. That's the problem I have is the wind. So we're getting a fence put up to block the wind, and then we're going to put raised beds behind it.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter-in-law has been having, where she can do it, she gets the early morning sun, and there's already a big fence back there. So she's had some real good luck this year, growing eggplant and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I love Laura's garden.
I haven't seen Laura's garden.
Oh, I haven't?
Uh-uh.
Oh, well, she's done several videos walking around the garden showing us all her plants and stuff.
I'll have to go look.
They had a pretty good year. So anyhow. Well, like I said, that's really all I have today. And I think it's becoming increasingly apparent to me that our food supply is worse than I thought it was. And I think we need to all, just word of caution, we need to really pay attention more and more to what we're eating and try, my opinion, humble opinion, is try the best we can as often as we can to get stuff that truly is organic. And unfortunately, even the stuff that's organic is apparently getting compromised.
Yes.
So I'm not even sure how long organic's going to be really organic. But
I don't think there's much left. Although Costco, I read, is buying, I don't know how many acres to meet the needs of people that want organic.
well, maybe Costco is going to be the salvation in this thing. How about now? I know a couple people shop at Sprouts. I don't know much about Sprouts. Do you?
I do not, and my closest Whole Foods is 100 miles away.
It's a long ways to drive for a head of lettuce, isn't it?
I do have a Trader Joe's in Lancaster, but it's a small one. I mean, and then again, that's 45 miles away.
Yeah. So Craig says he's never tried the garden before. He's going to have to try one next year. It should do well in Kansas. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I don't have a place to grow a garden here. I tell you, if I did, I'd be starting one. But so interesting.
If Bobby,
all right, well,
if Bobby were still here, he'd have a big garden in his backyard.
Bobby?
Yeah.
He did have a garden. He did. He was growing kale and tomatoes and some other things. It wasn't a big garden, but lots of mornings he was running out grabbing kale to bring it in for his smoothies.
He's been on my mind the last couple of days.
Yeah. Bill, you've been pretty quiet over there.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the subject, but like you guys were talking about, we don't know what the long-term effects are in some of this stuff, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's not the fact.
Not so much for me, but you know, the youngsters growing up right now.
Yes. I worry about Sarah, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what, you know, 50 years down the road, how things are going to be.
I'll tell you where you can get some information, Bill, on Facebook. Go into the group March on Monsanto.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, and it's not so much, it's not that they did it. It's not that GMO is necessarily good or bad. It's that they did it without telling us. They continue to not tell us, and they haven't done the studies to show that this stuff really is safe.
Yeah, and organic people have to put every certification, every bit of information, but not the GMOs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and Monsanto just has the money to override everybody. So.
Well, our politicians are being bought off.
Right. So. All righty. Well, that's all. Everybody have a good day, good weekend. Unless
You
there's
too.
something else. Pardon?
You too.
Thank you, Bill. Yeah, unless there's somebody else with something to say, I'm just going to go ahead and call it a day here. All righty?
All righty.
All right. Talk to you guys again. Thanks for coming. Bye for now.
Bye.